the trader money aimed to empower 2 million petty traders. The scheme would grant a minimum of 30,000 loans in each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Well, to look at this initiative and dissect it is the SME doctor and the managing partner, TQM Capital Limited, Mr. Bayo Ogunnusi. By the way, Bosun will be joining us in this conversation as we move on. Good morning. Thank you very much, Bayo, for joining us in the show.
Good morning.
Well, what do you make of this initiative, Trader Money, which seeks to support micro businesses?
Okay, I think it's a wonderful idea. It's a brilliant idea, and the government is trying to reach out because there's poverty in the land. But be that as may, I think they can do better than that. Now, giving money to traders and SMEs is not just enough. You need to build a structure around them. These guys, they're suffering. People need money. They have rents to pay. They have bills to pay. So you give them money without a structure. What you find out is that they might lose the money. So they come back to square one at the end of the day. So
when you talk about structure, yeah, what kind of structure are you talking about here?
For example, in accounting, there's something we call business entity concept, separating the business from the person. Now, the man that is a trader is the one that is the MD, is the chairman, is the accountant, is everything. Everything revolves around him. There's a risk. So the money you are giving to these guys, the risk is that if anything happens to him, that money is gone. What we're trying to do is let him open an account, number one. Let him have an accountant. Let him have audits. Let them check his books. If you are giving money to small businesses, for example, someone that is in Dangote products, Dangote sugar, why can't we pay the money directly to Dangote Sugar Company and they give him stock? So when you give him inventory, he can sell. But when you give him the money, there's every tendency to divert.
But these businesses that they are talking about are like petty traders on the street, the hawkers, and all
they need to buy stock. They still need to buy stock. So the guy that sells ice cream needs to go and buy stock with 5,000, 10,000. Can we identify the people that are in this business? Oh, there are 5,000 of them. They buy from WAMCO. Can we transfer the money directly to WAMCO and go and pick up the stock? So the idea is buy the stock and sell the stock, not give them money. If I give someone 100,000 to start a business and I turn my back, the money is gone. But it's a good idea, but we're just saying we need to take it to the next level, not just throw money at them.
Okay, let's bring in Bosun at this point. Bosun, I'm sure you have a word for... Oh, okay, while we wait for Bosun to contribute to this conversation. Now, different administrations, keep coming up with initiative, such as this towards growth of small businesses. How sustainable do you think this initiative is? We have seen the others, we have the UWIN, but although this one is strategically targeted at this micro, businesses, but then looking at it, how sustainable?
My honest opinion is not sustainable. It's not, because the truth is we need to go to the foundation. There's a problem. There's a deep root. What we do at the SME Doctor, we have a monthly training clinic where we set up and bring like 40 people together and we train them. The challenges that SMEs are facing is not money. We keep telling them it's not about money. If I bring out $100 million, does it solve the problem? This guy is he even sure that that's what he wants to do? Does he even know his customers? Has he even done analysis to know that, okay, this is what I want to sell? Are you even sure? Or is it because the next person is doing this business, I want to do it? It's about survival. So what the government is doing is to help with the survival. So we're just making them survive. But that's not the solution. There are deep-rooted issues we need to deal with. It's not sustainable. Well,
before I take you on those issues that government should actually deal with in dealing with this set of people, let's hear from Bosun. Bosun.
Yes, Chima, it's a very interesting conversation you getting on with there. But again, if you look at the structure of the Nigerian economy and the society, you find out that the folks that the government are targeting with this trader money are those basically at the bottom of the pyramid. These are the folks you find in vehicular traffic, not just in Lagos, across Nigeria, even highways if you're traveling, and you find folks hawking on the roadside, sometimes agricultural products like maize or yam or tomato, whatever you call it, and those who fry akara and do moi moi at the roadside and what have you. So these are folks who survive on basic hundreds of naira per day in terms of maybe their total output or revenue or income for a particular day. So if you're talking about 10,000 naira to these folks, some of these folks have never held 10,000 naira in cash in total at any point in time, maybe for a month, or maybe for 2 months, maybe even for a year. Because what they trade on a daily basis or what they sell, perhaps it's just 100 or 200 or 300 or 500 naira. So to put 10,000 naira together, it could mean a lot to these people. So what does he think about this set of people?
Okay, very good analysis. Now, the traders that you are referring to are the guys on the streets. They are the mass market. They earn on a daily basis. Now, what we are saying is put them in a cluster. If there are 100,000 people that sell akara, put them in a cluster and let them be registered. Put them together. That way you can reach out to them. Give them ID cards. Train them. Let them know how to structure and grow their businesses. You don't want them to be selling akara for the next 10 years. You want them to sell akara and move to the next level. Or you now have a shop. From shops, you now have staff. That's the point. So put them in a cluster. It's okay what the government is doing, but we're saying we can put a structure. Though they are on the street, but put them in a cluster. We can bring them together. If you are selling akara, come and register. Then we get people to lecture them, put them in an informal setting. This is what you do as you are selling. Go and pay money to this account. You can train people, you can teach people. We have to get them out of this mindset, or else we bring out these billions today, then the next 1 year, we bring out another set of billions to the same set of people. But we need to start moving people along the value chain, train these guys, move them up. They're selling like on the street, move to a shop. So the next set of people that come to the street, so there's a value chain, people are moving, there's a stock. It's not as if, because the same set of people that are selling akara will come back next year, they still have the same problem.
What about the idea of forming like a cooperative?
That's cluster. That's the cluster. Cooperative cluster. That's what we need to do. Appoint the banks might not be able to do this because they don't have the capacity.
This is being championed by Bank of Industry, actually.
Yeah, they need to appoint consultants. They need to appoint consultants at every local government, every ward, to be able to champion this. They can't do it all alone. The information required, the knowledge required the knowledge required to deal with this set of people.
I think
Bosun wants to say something.
Chimeze.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bosun.
Yes, I can relate to what our guest is saying in the studio. I can relate to that. If you remember, Chimeze, and maybe some folks who are old enough, there was a time we had the People's Bank of Nigeria, if you remember.
Yeah. I remember.
Yes. The concept of People's Bank back then was a little bit about microfinance, and that was during the military days, by the way. And Tai Solarin, the late Tai Solarin, the educationist, was one time a chairman of the bank. Then Maria Shokenu later became the managing director of this particular People's Bank. I think the trader money is a little bit of what the People's Bank back then was, which means you're giving very small amount of money to the people. And I like what the guest is saying, because if we look at this particular issue, if we want to go the way of the Grameen Bank, like you have in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, many years ago, yes, Bangladesh to be more precise, let's go the way of the Grameen Bank. Now we can bring back the People's Bank in a way that is more structured, like what he is saying there, that we put them in clusters. Then when we put them in clusters, what we do is to make sure that we reorganize this bottom of the pyramid, this very low base of doing business in Nigeria, in a manner that which we can have data on them. For example, we need to know, like, how many people fry akaras in Nigeria across the country. We can get that data. How many people are vulcanizers, for example. We can have that data. Then it makes our population or census maybe a little more easier. It makes even security a little bit more easier, because then you'll be able to know who is where. And then, like you said, if you give them ID card, or what you call a national ID card, so you can begin to track people, and that will help a lot. Now, I can relate to that on that score, but I'm sure
you know that Bosun, you know that data collection in Nigeria is an issue. How would they be able to deal with this set of people? How do you even identify, this set of people?
Very easy. See, there are 36 states in Nigeria, and their local governments.
I think that's what the guest should answer. He's the one.
Sure, he's giving me the answer.
So there are 36 states in the country. Their local governments, their wards. Don't forget, when we are doing elections, this information that we're talking about in the electoral platform, they can get this information. The man at the ward knows who is the woman that sells palm oil. They know each other, so we can deploy the same strategy from each ward. Look, who are the people that sell? They know each other. We go to the rural. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of intelligence. That's how you gather data. Begin to know what are you up to, what are you doing. People begin to register. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone, so we can get information. You can send text to them, register, and begin to get information. When we know what you are doing, we put you in a cluster. It's for your own good. So when we're giving you the money, we can track. And the way you give out money to traders, this is how you do it. You have 100 people you want to give out money to. Start with 20. Give the first 20. 2 months. If you pay back this 20, if this 20 pay back, the next set will get. So you find out that the other 80, they will start chasing the 20. Have you paid? Because if you don't pay, I don't get. So that's how you drive a chain. They begin to chase themselves that if this man doesn't pay, I don't get. Then you sit down and watch them. What we're talking about is not so much about the money, but it's the structure. We're trying to change their mindset that, look, you can grow from selling akara to owning a shop. But to get the data, we need to go the way. When doing the elections, I've been to his saying to do a campaign. I see the way you'll be shocked that the guys on the street, everybody knows what is happening. They have their voter's card. So if people have their voter's card at that level, why can't we bring the same into business?
Okay. Now, one would wonder if this initiative is not like a policy different, having policy differences when we see some state government, banning street trading. And here you are. So don't you think there's a kind of a disconnect? So would you say that perhaps the federal government is working in tandem with the state government in all of this?
You see, with due respect to people that formulate policies and bring out these ideas, with due respect to them, there is no handshake. There is no handshake. And the reason is that there is no foundation. There is no thought process. Now, whether you are selling on the street or you have a store, you have a shop, you are in the market, what the federal government is trying to achieve is they have an objective: eradicate poverty. That's the objective. Now, that's a strategic objective. Now, to bring it down to operational, tactical is another level. Now, if the guys that are going to implement these policies do not understand how to drive this market, then there will be a disconnect. So, like you said, but they said they should not hawk. So who are we going to give the money? Because there's a disconnect. So we need to go to the depth. When we are formulating policies, the question is, what are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to achieve? What we're trying to achieve is sustainability and to grow these guys. So you're not just giving them money. If you give a typical SME entrepreneur 10 million, in 2 years' time, you probably not see the money again.
Okay, let's get Bosun's take in this. Bosun.
Yeah, I like that part of the conversation. But again, one question for the guest is this. This is driving things to the social level of the people. Do you think these ideas or initiatives such as trader money should replace broad macroeconomic policies that would lift everyone out of poverty? Because you're talking about just about 10, 20 million Nigerians. The poverty level at the bottom of the pyramid runs much higher than that. So what do you think? How do you think government should balance this particular socialist intended microcredit to the people on the street, to the man on the street, with the big economic story moving the country forward like the ERGP?
Okay, there's something in business we call low-hanging fruit. This trader money is a low-hanging fruit. So it's about, there's so much issue in the land. What can we do? Let's come up with trader money. We have some money from Abacha loot that wasn't in the budget. Push it out to the system. Now, that doesn't solve the problem of poverty in Nigeria. It will solve it. But like you said, you're only giving about 20 million. Let's hope it gets to them. So how do you solve this problem? It's not a 1 year thing. It's not a 1 month thing. It's almost like a whole 4 years. You have to sit down, gather data. People have to go to these rural economies, rural states, rural towns, and get data. Who are these people? Before we start talking about trader money or any kind of money we are pushing out to the system, we need to get this information. Who is doing what? What should they do? Why are you doing it? Why should we do this? So by the time we're releasing money to anybody, we are sure that these are the people that need the money.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Bayo Ogunnusi. I'm sure this is a developing story and we have quite a lot to deal on that issue. Thank you for your time. After the break, we will look at today at the equities market. To stay with us.